Good evening and welcome to the Selectmen's meeting on May 6, 2020. We started at 6:30 with a non-public on a personnel matter for some new employees. And at this time, I'd like everybody to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, and we will go to,
We have one person on speakerphone.
yep, we're going to go to the Public Works Director and have him introduce his new people.
I'll start with Chris Jensen. Want to come stand 6 feet from him, I guess.
6 feet apart.
Looking to hire her immediately as an on-call part-time basis for $15 an hour.
15 even?
That's what I was told today, yes.
Okay. Okay. And
As a flagger.
what's that? As a flagger.
She'll be
right.
flagging.
Okay.
Is there an hourly limit?
Oh, I don't think so. 'Cause
Okay.
it'll be a day here or there. I just kind of can't go over at the end of the year, you know.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Do you want to put that down that she's a flagger? Because that's limited.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I don't-
you want
Would you use her in any other capacity?
jobs?
Not at the moment. I mean, I hate restraining anything too far because if
Right.
anything ever happened, she got sick of all her other jobs and wanted to plow snow this winter, I'd be happy to come to you guys and say, hey, and she's got a license and all that.
So why don't we put?
Which in case I do know.
Part-time laborer,
Yeah.
Part-time laborer.
Just put a
We'd
part-time
have to
DPW
get driver's
employee.
a part-time DPW employee, so
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah,
it-
that way you can use it.
You
Because I
can
think,
use her in
I
other
think
jobs.
she probably could, in a pinch, if something happened at the transfer station. I mean, those,
Right,
you know,
whatever. we
I don't,
put down
I'm the
there.
same
Yep.
way. I don't
Yeah,
want
if
to be
you-
too
If she's,
restrictive.
Narrow it down too much, and you.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the intent.
Leave it broad, I think.
Yeah.
so, yeah, okay, so we make a part-time DPW employee. Okay, I'll make a motion that we hire Chris Jensen as a part-time DPW employee starting at a rate of $15 an hour. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. And was there a discussion or? Oh, okay. Okay, welcome aboard.
Welcome, Chris.
Thank you.
Okay.
Have fun.
I'll give you a call later tomorrow or something, see what you
Okay.
come up with your schedule. You don't have to stay for the rest of the meeting if you don't want to.
Okay, so you don't want me to start tomorrow?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I didn't know what your schedule is. Always,
I'm working in the morning
yeah, okay,
till about 9:30ish.
yep.
And what would you like, do you want to text me later or? give me a
Yeah,
call?
yeah, I'll give you a call.
Give me a call later, I'm home all night.
Okay, I'll do that.
Bye, Chris.
Bye,
Bye.
Chris.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
Okay, next.
Next, hire Michael Lansford. It's a full-time truck driver position for DPW, starting at $17.34. After a 6-month probation, go to $17.86.
And he's worked
He's worked for
already
me
for us?
Not a year, but almost, huh?
I think it was a little over, I think it was last March.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it was, yeah.
Did the application in March of 19?
Oh, okay.
Yep,
So a year
so yeah. So you want to make him from part-time to
to
full-time?
full-time, yep.
Anybody have anything?
No.
Okay. Make a motion that we hire Michael Lansford for full-time DPW employee, moving. Oh, did you have something, Rick? Oh, okay. To move up from being part-time into a full-time position that was approved at the vote in March. His starting rate will be at $17.34 an hour, and after 6 months, he will move up to $17.86 an hour.
Should be an even 50 cents, whatever it was.
Well, you said, I have 17.86, 50?
Well, that is what you're right, you wrote what I said.
Yep.
That's what I got texted from the,
Okay.
okay. You got an extra 2 cents out of us, Mike, how you like that?
Sounds good to me.
So you get your 2 cents worth, as they say.
I'll second that.
Okay, and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so, welcome aboard.
All right, Mike, I'll see you in the morning.
All right.
We'll set up that signed package on 114, get in at 6.
Okay.
All righty,
Thank you.
thank you.
And now we go to you for an update, I guess you have for us.
Oh, if you want one, I guess. So we started our summer work. All my roads are already reclaimed. I feel good about that. Some towns haven't even had a town meeting. We already have our roads tore up, so I'm sure there's going to be grumbling because I reclaimed them and left them. Now we are doing other things, but we are going to work on them. I reclaimed Bogue Road, Etta Lane, and the rough piece of Thorndyke. Everybody's familiar with that, between Quaker and Reservoir.
Yep.
That ground, unbelievable. I can't believe how good it ground.
Fell apart.
It ground really good, so happy about that. They didn't drag up any boulders or anything, so I'm going to just add gravel where it needs added. I'm gonna fine grade it, and we're gonna pave it.
I'm shocked. I mean, I know driving it, there's some
It
Humps
was
that
rough, but I
pushed
had,
up through and I looked like a boulder that was probably about 2 or 3 inches down.
I wasn't convinced there was because it
It-
was bent straight out of the side of the Towns' gravel pit, I'm sure with a dozer, and usually big rocks roll to the bottom. So I'm
Yep.
sure that river was over against that pit, and they squeezed the river over and rolled the rocks in it 100
That
years
spring
ago.
came right off that bank for
So,
years.
Yeah.
But at any rate, it ground very good. I'm gonna grade it, and we're gonna pave it. That's first before we go back to Boger.
Which one did you do? I'm sorry.
Thorndyke,
Thorndyke.
Thorndyke.
between Quaker and
Between Quaker
Reservoir
Reservoir.
Drive.
Four Drive.
Yeah.
And then we will go to Bogue, and then we will go to Etta. Not saying if there's something, I won't go grade it and put dust control or something on them, but
Yep.
as far as the rebuild process, Bogue's gonna take the most, of course. It's the longest. I got a couple slopes, or a slope that needs fattened out with material because the guardrails further. They almost lost the reclaimer down over the bank in one spot. So there's a lot of work, so it's gonna be last. This week, tomorrow, they're going to overlay Barnard Hill Road off of Route 114 down by the telephone company. And Friday, we're gonna overlay Oak Hill and Oak Ridge. Oak Ridge is in pretty rough shape, but we're going by with the paver. It doesn't make sense not to. It's one of them probably should have been ground up. However, there's 8 or 10 houses, all cars, no trucks. We'll probably get by one more round without it.
What about, you're talking Bonnet Hill coming down over River Road, or you're talking,
114 end.
And?
telephone
Cold Spring
company.
End.
so are you not gonna touch that one this year?
Which one?
Bonnet Hill down through to Riverdale?
Oh, no, you did, no,
Barnard
that's
Hill
River
Road
Road.
is
You're
off
talking River
114.
Road.
River Road.
Barnard
River
Hill.
Road or Barnard Hill? Doing Barnard Hill Road tomorrow.
Which is on the phone company side.
Right,
River Road down at Riverdale
Dale.
is,
Friday.
he's doing Friday.
Friday. Grinding it, or it's already been ground?
Digging it up.
Digging it up?
Worked till
Good.
4:30 tonight digging it up, the intersection down there.
Because it's all concrete, right?
Yeah, and it lasted a long time, I don't think that pavement's gonna hold them trailers turning, but
I don't either.
Goffstown shut us off from no through truck in or New Boston and them towns, so that's what we gotta deal with.
You don't think you should put concrete back in there? You'll know in a year.
Probably know in a week.
Would
Huh?
concrete work at the end of Quaker Street, 114? You know what I'm talking about.
Where the flare where it takes the pothole on, yeah, but that's,
I mean, somebody put some patch in there.
Problem with concrete and pavement together is that
Expansion,
the water salt eats concrete terrible.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
the
it does.
problem. You know, and the concrete down River Road, it lasted a while. It was like, well, you didn't put rebar in it. Well, no, because when that comes apart, then you have an immediate problem. You can't let people drive over it then.
Well, well,
yeah.
You know, and it was rough. It's at a stop sign. We had 5 trucks, an excavator, and all the men out on the road today with vests on, and they're driving through that intersection at speed limit. So I can only imagine what happens when nobody is there. So no wonder it's rough and cars are falling apart. And that's how it is on all the roads. You know, you drive for the condition. I saw the complaints about River Road. I went down with my son on Sunday and there was 4 big potholes and I navigated around all of them without hurting my vehicle. So sometimes people have to take accountability for their own actions. So that's my take on that. I absolutely call BS on the road that hurt my car. But we are fixing them. We are going to overlay River Road from Colby Road down to that stop sign sometime this summer. It's on the docket. What day, I don't know. So as of this week, we are going to overlay Barnard Hill Road tomorrow in the telephone company end. Friday, we're going to fix that intersection and do a very, like 300 feet on Riverdale. That hill right off the bridge was terrible. So I was there at the excavator, dug that up too. And that will be fixed Friday along with overlaying Oak Hill and Oak Ridge. That's what I can tell you for sure that's gonna get paved for dates. And then we're gonna go back to working on everything. So when they say they're coming to pave, we'll put up some more paving signs, so. I rented one of them flashy signs that I desperately want to buy and put on Riverdale, warning to seek alternate route, and Friday I am gonna shut all trucks off at Colby Road. And I went to the pit and they are going to tell them not to come that way. And anybody will be turned around and sent up Colby Road. Local traffic will have to be let through, of course, but, so. I did rent that sign for 2 months. You guys will probably see the bill, $650 a month. I think that was a screaming deal for one of them things, and I'm gonna use it on every road job, because I got 2 big culverts on Twin Bridge to replace. I'll have to close the road for. Things like that, they'll be handy, you know, put up a week ahead of time, say seek alternate route.
Yep.
I think they'll be super handy. And I got 2 signs that say paving will start, and we can stick the day on it, you know. I only got 2 of them. We're paving 3 roads this week, so. Well, 4 really. So I'll use that.
Yep.
If I can find one within legal price and get it before the end of the year, and if it's a budget, I'm gonna have one. They work really well. So.
While he's here, can I, if you're done with your,
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else really. We're going back on our normal work schedule
Everybody's gonna be working.
Tuesday.
Yep.
Tuesday.
This week evens up the crew. They've all had the same time off.
Yep.
And
And you can keep the distancing when they come.
yeah, I mean, for the most part, see, you're gonna be times you're gonna have to work in the trench with somebody, but just tell them they're gonna have to, you know, if they're worried about it, wear their mask. Other than that, yeah, they're in their truck. No one was within 6 feet of each other today. If they were, it was on their own account. They weren't forced to, you know. We're not at the shop having lunch in the lunchroom. We're not out on the road, so.
Okay.
I just have too much to do. I'm very stressed this week. I need help bad. We're getting it, but boy, I got a lot of baling to do tomorrow with the excavator. So, like I said, I've been working them right till 4 o'clock. I loaded the last truck at 4:25 tonight, and poor Mike still had to pick up all signs. He barely made it here on time tonight because he was still working for the highway department. So,
Okay.
other than that, we're gonna do what we usually do. Grader goes out, and we've only been having them spot grade really bad spots because of the every other week we'll start grading normal again. Calcium, I have a half a trailer load of calcium, and that's what we're gonna put out for the summer, and that's it. I ain't buying another one. The road budget's tight, and it was in the approved budget for gravel road maintenance, and I don't have that, so.
Okay.
I think we might have dropped, I don't want to say dropped. Sawyer Road, the gentleman came to us back in August of 19. Remember, a little gentleman came in for 2 lots?
Yeah, okay,
Okay, well, so when he was there in August of 2019, we told him that he had to contact you and do something with the culvert and the ditches, and then once it was done, he actually had to return to the board. Now, it's my understanding that one lot's for sale, one's been sold. Has the culvert been done?
Yep.
One of them's been done.
So has has the work been done that was supposed to allow them? So with that being said, I think there's a buyer interested in one of them, and she has done her homework.
They're coming
and
before the planning board this next meeting.
The Sawyer Road is?
Yeah, I think it is Sawyer Road. No, it's Jewett Road, I'm sorry. It was
Yeah.
Jewett Road, not Sawyer Road.
Because
That's the other
one's
one.
been sold, he's
It's
been
right around the
building,
corner.
one is looking at it, but her concern being the approval never happened.
It should be before well, he sold the lots, so.
Right, and there's a building permit on one
And
of them.
the other gentleman came before the planning board and had all the paperwork, and it was approved to build on that lot.
Okay, well, we get left out, but it's our road, right?
And it was supposed to be sent to there, so we'll have to find out about that. We'll have to check with Kelly. I
Well-
think she's got a copy of it.
Right, but, I mean, we have to give permission. If the culvert and the ditching's been done, how and
culvert
what
was put
anity
in.
gets
Yeah,
a
the
building
culvert and the
permit?
ditching was done, and then they issued her the permit on the fact that, there was some documentation that had been looked at by him and said it was,
The culvert was put
Yeah,
in.
put in.
That's what, I knew it was supposed to be
Yeah.
done. I looked at it and it looked good, so.
And then there was ditching, there was a complaint about insufficient ditches from the resident.
that was further down, though. I think that
Well,
was closer towards the end.
There's no ditch problem.
I guess what I'm saying is, we've got one gentleman building
Yep.
and one person looking at the other lot, and if they both were subject to coming back to here for our final, once the culvert got done, why don't we just anoint it while Benji's here and it's
Told them
been
they
Sure.
had to, when they were done with their building, because the guy at the very end also that is doing something. I
Right,
told them
and
they
he
had to
came-
graveling, need to be gravel and grade it when they're done.
Yeah, that
At
was
their
it.
expense.
Yep.
And, that gentleman put in the culvert, called me, he was a little upset, he says, well, now there's a lot beyond me that's for sale, and I had to foot the bill for the culvert, I says, it's kinda how the cards fall, pal. I said, well, it is, if, Terry Goonan
It
down
is.
at the very end,
Yeah.
that doesn't live there no more, him and one other resident put in the power down there for $100,000 in the '80s, and they footed the whole
Oh,
bill,
that's
everyone else hooked into the power.
Somebody footed, years ago,
That's how
somebody
they-
footed the bill to put gravel into that road and widened it out.
Right,
And
so,
that's-
so what I told him, I said, the guy down at the end will have to, and I talked to him, I said, he'll have to, at the very least grade, and if any gravel damage is done. When I made these deals with these people, I told them they had to put gravel down, they called me during mud season, and I was concerned they were gonna rut things. Summer's here now, they're not gonna hurt nothing. They'll have to grade it, but they're not gonna ruin gravel as far as I could tell, so.
I
The
guess
culvert's been put
so-
in, that's the
right,
big deal, looks
right.
nice, he did a very good
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think they even got DES involved, didn't they?
Hey, said he did.
Yeah,
Yep.
they got DES involved.
Surprised me because
Yeah,
it was my recommendation on the pipe. I figured DS would have some different idea, but
They had
it looks
DES.
real good. I climbed down, looked at the headers, and should never have no problem with that.
So I guess so that we don't get lost in the shuffle when it comes time for a occupancy for the other home, you're still gonna have to sign off on the driveway
Sure.
permit.
Yep,
But to allow someone else to move forward with the other lot, it just somehow never made its way back here, because it was
yep, I thought it had.
No, it just said once he had the culvert specifications would be addressed with the DPW, and once the work's been done and approved, he can return to the board for approval.
Right.
So he's done, approved, and installed now, so I don't see why we couldn't.
Yeah, and
approve it.
he's not, I don't know if the original owner was the one that installed it, or was,
No.
because he'd been back and forth for almost 2 years playing around with that, and then played,
Well, he had one
Played
lot,
that he-
was on the verge of being sold
Sold.
to this young couple.
Yep.
They went to zoning, and then, I don't know exactly what happened, they backed out. So this gentleman still had both lots.
he
He
was.
came to us that night,
Yeah,
and
and
that's
he'd
what
been
we
to
told
the, I know he'd been before the planning board, been before the, land use coordinator and building inspector, and, played, well, I didn't know I had to do that. Yeah, you did. It's all in the minutes, and you got it before the planning board, so it was like, he'd been back and forth a couple times, but it's done. I knew it got done, and I thought it had, get all approved, and that's probably my
No,
fault for not
it-
paying attention
Well, no,
more
it
to
got,
it.
and it was somebody that actually did their homework and chased the minutes back and forth and
Yep.
couldn't find the approval and didn't want to buy it without having approval,
Yeah, so,
even though the work's been
I
done,
mean,
so.
if, I'm in favor, if Benji says it's up to spec with the way it's supposed to be,
The
then
culvert's all good.
Yeah.
I don't know what else is supposed to be done.
That's
There's
what-
nothing
Nothing.
else wrong with the road.
nothing
Yeah, it
else.
says it had culvert specifications
There's
to
some neighbors
address,
unhappy that
to
there's more
address the
houses.
insufficient ditches. Once the work was done and approved, he could return for final approval.
Yeah. The
So
ditches,
if the culvert was done and looks good to address the ditches, the work's been done, I think
And there ain't
we
much
just
for
have one.
ditch lines out on
no,
that
mostly
road.
I think the problem was the ditches right around where it goes into the culvert. There was
There
nothing.
isn't any water issues out there really, you know, I mean, it's a class 6 road.
Yeah. Yeah, the water,
The
the more the,
problem with the ditches is, sometime before me and some person before this builder was held to the class 5 standard
yeah,
of fixing that road up. The class 5 standard, to get that road wide enough, the ditches had to get filled in. That's what happened.
yep.
The
that's right.
town told them they had to do that. So I'm gonna tell someone else they go dig the road back narrower, because then there's not, if the road's crowned and the water's running over to the edge, like you grade a road, then that's good enough for me. I mean, to have an excavator go in and dig new swales, the town told somebody 20 years ago they had to
Fill 'em
bring it
in.
and fill them in, you know, so. So that's a problem, and it comes, so I've been out there this spring, I don't see any, it's one of the better class 6 roads in town, so.
I know before when I went out there, I think part of the problem with
It'll be
it,
rough and muddy, it's,
With
get
it-
moving on one of them, I guess, right?
part of it I know before was it flooding and washing
Yeah,
out,
well,
because
that
the culvert
culvert-
was too small to
culvert
handle
was
the
a problem.
volume, and the culvert was collapsing, but now, if they're satisfied with it,
Good by me, so I don't,
here he is.
whatever, you guys wanna do, I don't care.
No,
Have you go
if
through
you,
and check it out.
Uh,
Just give it a final, go ahead.
I've
Yeah,
been
he's-
up there lots of times.
yeah, yeah, he approved, I know there was an approval before.
Conversation into here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, I looked at the culvert right after it got put in, and I've been up, a couple times since, cause I do driveway permits, and I stopped and looked at it again. Culvert's good.
If you're happy with it.
Yep,
Yeah,
and
no,
we're
it looks
happy with
really
it.
We can give that other person the.
Yep,
the go.
just have
Yeah.
them,
So are you gonna make a motion to
yep,
So moved.
second,
do what?
to approve for the building.
Approve the culvert work on.
Sawyer,
No,
Sawyer
Sawyer Road,
Road.
Road.
same general name.
Well, not to do the
Taking a play
work,
out of my
right?
book.
It's already done, but it's approved.
Approve the work that was done on Sawyer Road.
Yep,
Okay.
so the other person can go forward with their. Was
Well, I
it
think it's gonna, they were looking probably to borrow some money, so
Yep.
they had to dot all their i's. and
dot
cross
all the
their
i's and
t's.
cross the t's, so they'll have the documentation for it. So, all those in favor?
aye.
Aye. Opposed? Yeah,
Oh,
one
that's right.
abstention, okay. That was before your time.
That's all I had figured
Okay.
while we had Benji here, instead of inviting him back for the 18th.
Yeah.
Yep,
Police just went by.
oh,
Andy,
Looking for Ricky.
where am I? You guys put APV up?
No,
Okay.
we did not.
unless you get something else.
I can't think of nothing, just going along.
How's the truck orders?
Well, I haven't, I called to check up, but they, when I ordered them, they told me end of May for the little one and 1st of
I
July
fixed
for the
that.
big
No,
one.
give it to Jack.
For the chassis to be delivered?
Yeah.
Made the
Oh, that's
fix.
good.
Made the fix.
That,
Oh.
that's real good.
Yeah,
Western Star had not got shut down yet when I ordered it.
that's good.
Dodge
With
had,
the-
it was supposed to reopen, I
Venus
left
again.
him alone for a couple of weeks, I'd call him.
That you can take up after.
We, Freightliner keeps getting pushed back.
Do they, yeah,
No
Pushed
kidding.
Back, pushed back.
yeah.
We were supposed to get trucks 1st of July, now they're out the end of August, so.
Well, that's the only thing
The
that,
factory's not shut down?
West-
Western Star wasn't, I haven't
Okay.
called Bucky since I ordered it, I guess, but.
Yep.
Cause that's the body that's kinda time sensitive, the little one we could squeeze in, it's not a big
Yeah,
deal.
yeah.
But-
Is the little one same way? Time, is that been shut down?
Yeah, it was supposed to be here in May, but the factory was shut down,
Okay.
so.
That's what I thought.
But he said their backlog wasn't terrible. We'll see, I guess. Hey, that's why I said specifically when we went to buy it, that the trade might not be, we gotta run that truck every day, so. I'm spending minimal money on it, but I gotta put a door handle in it, cause typical Chevy plastic door handle broke.
Broke off.
So,
Yeah.
it's it's my everyday truck, so. That's
Maybe
kinda
you could
why I
just put some
wanted.
baling twine or something.
Yeah, kinda, well, right now they're using it the way it is, cause we've been busy, haven't had time to park it, so they ain't in the
Coat hanger
passenger
through there.
side, yeah,
Yep,
yeah, so they, anyway, that's kinda why I didn't wanna push my luck with the more expensive one, cause if we end up not getting a trade out of the deal, I don't think that'll happen.
Yeah.
Wanna leave that option open, you know what I mean? The other truck is soon as possible, we're gonna do the body swap and then park the, well, we have parked it, actually, we haven't been running it, but we're gonna, do a body swap for the one that's getting traded, which they knew about. So, taking a stainless steel body off, putting a steel body on it, so.
Yep.
That's on the new,
Six-wheeler on the
yeah.
big truck.
Yeah.
The medium
On the
duty.
big, no, on the heavy.
the medium duty.
Heavy six.
The 10-wheeler, what 10-wheeler's replacing, so.
How's the chain, either side, either body? The stainless one's got the good chain in it?
Oh, yeah, they're both about the same.
About the same.
Yeah. We replace them pretty regular.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, they take a beating.
Yeah.
That's probably the weakest point of the truck most of the time.
Yeah, like I said, you're gonna see some roller rentals. I had to rent one. We had a hard time. Roller had given Tom a hard time, and it kinda gave Jay a little bit of a hard time. Of course, he jumped into something taken apart and got it put together again today, and it seems to be fine. Not an expensive part, stupid seal, but without going into it, I needed a roller, so I rented a couple of them.
How old's that one we got? Pretty
I don't know
old.
what year it is. It's old.
It's old, yeah, I was gonna say.
It works good, but it'd be something someday down the future. It'd be
Just,
nice to find a used one to replace it, a little modern.
Like I
We
say-
use a ton out of it. I would use it even, we use it when we have time to use it. We use it steady. It really goes good on the dirt roads.
Yeah.
You know, I've been renting it for road reconstruction projects, but it works good put on the dirt roads, you know, so.
Pack 'em down.
You've been out sweeping some roads.
Ones we're gonna pave in Peasley Hill because it, that
Washes.
Thunder Boomer washed the shoulder out, so.
Okay.
No, that works good. That was, best thing we bought, that backhoe, was that, oh boy, that thing works good.
I see some other towns are just getting into, starting to do their road stuff. They're sending
Yeah,
out.
some of them haven't had town meeting yet.
No, and some of them are.
Yeah, I think we're fortunate to have all.
We're very
all the
fortunate. For one, I don't think nothing will pass in another week. It's scare of the COVID. And
Yeah.
for two, we might not have been able to have town.
Town meeting, right?
I think I was the first big reclaim job they did. They did some little jobs for somebody, but I mean, we're early.
Like I said, they
We were
jumped on it pretty
reclaimed
quick,
on May 3rd, no, April 30th, I think,
Yeah.
we were reclaiming
Yeah.
it.
Well, I see
I'm
that
pretty happy about
a
it.
lot of towns on that PW net are now just starting to get certain things. They probably already had their
What's
meetings.
tomorrow?
But they're looking for,
We're gonna
crack
have-
seal, people for crack seal, how's the chip seal work?
We're gonna have pavement down on May 7th.
Yeah.
That's
Pretty good.
awesome.
That's good. I'm very happy.
Yeah.
Along with the snow?
Yes.
Yeah, we get snow Friday.
Yeah, the only one that's ahead of you, I think, is down on 286 in Seabrook between the Mass line and the 1A.
Some of them, their fiscal
They're out
years
there,
are on-
ground it, and they've already paved it.
Some of them
finished
are
it today.
running on last year's because the paving was so busy. Some towns didn't get last year's paving done.
Well, this is right into the beach, and they turn around, and Continental was hauling in there, and
I
they got
told
it
them to
done
come right on.
3
We
days.
gotta put Twin Bridge off, and I wanna ditch River Road before they pave that. Colby Road has been ditched. It's ready for pavement. There's a ton of them that are.
Good.
You considering the chip coat on any of the other ones, or?
Yeah, so we did get screwed up last year on chip coat because Allstate's very particular about doing it because they warranty it for a year and a half.
Wow.
And so long story short, we didn't get the roads that I had doctored for chip coating overlaid in time because they also wanted to set a month after. It was unfortunate because I'm gonna do Reservoir Drive and they actually took a drone and flew it, was gonna kinda have us in a little brochure,
Pilot program.
yeah, I
brochure
guess
type
so,
thing,
right?
yeah.
Because they out west they do it on brand new road, and the guy said we'd love to, we can't get no one out here to do it. So Reservoir had a section that was brand new, a section that was a year old, and a section that was 2 years old of overlay. So they flew it, and they're going to see if the chip coat changed any from new to 1. So we won't have any on brand new. It'll be 1, 2, and 3. But so they're gonna do that, Flanders. What I want to do, if there's any bond money left, there will be. But I would love to do I call it rubber, man. That isn't the professional word for it. The state does a ton of it, but it's a rubber membrane chip on it instead of oil.
Yeah, we talked about that when you
I
were.
want to
gonna
do that
Washington.
on Mountain Road. So Mountain Road will be 3 years old, the reconstruction portion this year. And I only overlaid Mountain School Road. And it's got perfect definition still, and it's great, but it'll seal all the cracks, and they say it's at least 10 years. The state said, the state is having better luck with this than they are overlays on a road that is good. Instead of a 1-inch overlay, they're putting this in, because pavement reflects the cracks, you know. It may be something you
And
see.
that rubber one kinda moves around a little bit too, right? It's got a little flex to
I
it.
think, yeah, it's got some flex, and the beauty part of it is that they sweep right behind it, so.
Yeah, you're done.
What I hate about the other, my phone rattles right off the hook for 3 days till they sweep it up. That's
And the
day all-
motorcycles
That's the
don't
day
like
all the Harleys come out, is the
Yeah,
day
I was gonna
after I do
It's tough on the
it.
motorcycles.
Never fails. Can't wait till Reservoir Drive gets done. But, well, I have all the chip and everything, I mean, and they're gonna, you know, the price will be the same.
Yeah,
I'm hoping liquid asphalt goes down, but
we'll see.
of course,
The way it was dropping, it might.
of course, all the tanks are full, right, so they won't drop the, they said it's a 2-month delay for liquid asphalt prices versus fuel.
Knock on wood, hopefully.
Well, fuel's down.
I
It's
see,
been down for a little while.
I
They said another month, and a good friend of mine's worked in the coal mine since I worked out there, I'm the one who got him there. He got laid off for the first time ever last week.
Wow.
Because oil's down so low, it ain't worth burning coal.
Wow.
He calls me
You
up,
looked
he
at
says,
our-
I got
did you
an
look at our
interview
web
for the
report?
lead gold mine, lead South Dakota. I says, lead gold mine's been shut down for 30 years. They opened back up, I said, they must need some gold bars back up that paper they're printing.
yeah,
Yeah, because our fuel bill, I mean, nobody's running around anyway because of the COVID thing, but the price per gallon was, did you see it?
Yeah, it was
It
ridiculous.
was low.
For unleaded, of course, I don't burn any of that, but
was it 92 cents a
Something
gallon?
like that.
yeah, it was 71 once.
We'll take
even-
it.
It was
even-
71 once.
Really?
even-
Saw 92, I was like, oh my god.
Well,
this
kind of
brings
ticked
back-
me off because the time when that came through, what's fuel tax supposed to be?
40, no, it's a total of 42
40
cents.
some odd
Yeah,
cents,
well, there
22
was
for one and
way-
40 for another.
We get way less than 42 cents off for fuel, so that tells me that
Yeah,
yeah,
Who's pocketing
Yeah.
what? Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
right.
They,
There's a section on Walker Hill I was asked to talk to you about quarter mile up the road from Rockland intersection.
Yeah, right in front of Hadley's.
Just past that, the
In that
whole area
neighborhood,
that's
yeah,
just
it's bad.
completely.
That hill,
Yeah, because,
No, the hill's done
oh, you did the hill?
last year.
no, there's probably about a month ago, we had, I don't know if it was a rainstorm or
Oh,
whatever.
it's awful.
Yeah, there's one section that just the pavement's
I
actually.
want to
stripped away.
reclaim that sooner than later. It's just, I hope every year we can keep eking up the road reconstruction, because I'd like to do that and a fairly long subdivision that's been a squeaky wheel lately next
Yes.
year.
Yep.
But that's a lot of road, so
It's a lot of road.
we'll see if we can do it, you know.
If we can just get the loose pavement out of there.
You know, even if we have to get some base down a few years and then don't do nothing and top it all in a
Yep.
few years. We got a lot this year so far. I don't know the total footage, but we got a lot. Bogue Road 6,800 feet,
Yeah.
Thorndike's 3,000 feet, and
What's that one long subdivision? That's
a lot.
5 or 6, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's a mile anyways.
Yeah.
What's that, Meadow?
Vogue,
No, Pine Hill.
Pine Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I just don't like, in case something happens, saying I do anything.
Yep.
Don't get voted on next year.
Everything
What happens?
changes.
Right.
Yep.
Yep. Well, anybody got anything else? Okay,
Not
Benj,
for Benji.
Keep up the
Thanks,
good work.
guys.
thank you.
Yes, thank you.
We'll get some sleep, start over again.
Yeah, me early morning. I'm excited. I kind of stressed out, but I'm excited. That River Road intersection sucks, for lack of better words.
Oh,
I'll be
yeah.
glad when it's done.
A lot of people are going to be happy when that's done.
Yeah, you would-
Maybe, till it starts peeling up if
There's
it's
a
trucks,
lot
that's
of
that,
traffic
but,
down there, and I don't know how we'll get it. but-
yeah. Small inconvenience for long.
Yeah, that's what it'll be. We got a lot of thumbs up today. A few unhappy people.
That's
Can't
all right.
please everybody.
No.
Can't do it.
No.
All right, guys. See you
Thank you.
later.
Good night.
okay, see you, Benj.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have one other piece of correspondence on top of what you have in your hand.
Okay, we get the correspondence of that letter to the town clerk that's been corrected and it's ready for signature. So,
So
Yeah.
the one piece that I have, is an email, that she had she had evidently had a run-in, that her, mom and herself ran into one of the cemetery workers, and every year, it says every year we've gone every spring to my two-family lots to rake and pick up pine needles to get it ready for Memorial Day. This year was quite different, and I am totally baffled in what gives this woman the right to speak to anyone the way she treated us. A few details: we were in the old section of the East Street. My grandparents, Hadley, are now there. So we trimmed around the stone, pulled up a few weeds, then we went over to Buzzell Hillside. My dad, daughter, and grandparents, Hamill, are there. So we're raking up pine needles, and this is our vendor. She was out raking alongside the road, and came over yelling at these women, indicating that that they couldn't do that because they were considered a liability. They needed to stop, and that she would pick up the piles. This lady that's inquiring says, "I don't get it. Is this something new?" I won't go into the words that her and I exchanged, but it's not right. She was rude, disrespectful to the people who are here to honor their loved ones. I'd like to go back and fix the mess that was created with the foot markers that were installed wrong, then moved, and now my grandfather's is still crooked. And now it's squares of dead grass. She said she'd take care of it, and as of yesterday, still hasn't. My aunt has called her directly to try to fix this also, and gets that, quote, she'll take care of it. I would appreciate a copy of the rules and regulations for the cemetery and hope to resolve this so nobody that tries to clean up their lots will run into her.
There's no
It's
law.
my understanding, I mean, this is the first I've heard of it, as I would just share. We go into Pine Grove and do my in-laws, all the sisters, all the Bolton women go in and do, there's a whole, probably 4. There's my in-laws, the grandmother, there's a bunch of them down through there, the Nichols lot. We clean it up, we weed it, we put flowers, we do whatever. We've
own-
never run into anything.
You own the lot.
It's a
You can
family
do what you
tradition
want.
in a lot of families, so.
You can do, you own a lot, you can do what, you can
But I
go in a
will
rake
say,
and
you
take
know what I
care of
mean,
it.
you know, if I can get her the copies of the regulations, but I guess with anything, I guess I'll reach out. There's 2 sides to every story,
right.
and I don't mind replying, but I mean, I've never seen anybody I've seen a lot of people cleaning up and putting flowers. Memorial Day is a big day for them.
Yep, absolutely.
That weekend, so I'm not sure why somebody would go in, well, I don't understand the liability part.
It's no liability. Anyone can go into a cemetery, and on top
Well, I
of it,
think you pay
you
for
own
the
the
lot,
lot.
and then perpetuity, don't you do perpetual care? I mean, I know that's part of
Well-
it, but even you as a family can go in.
Yeah, but perpetual
plant.
care, not for people that, a lot of times, they don't pay for that. So it's up to the people to bring flowers and put those in.
Oh, no, we don't put flowers, but we do mow it. But if
Mowing,
somebody
right.
wants to decorate it up, I do know you can't use bark mulch, that's against the law.
Right.
Because we found out the hard way, we had to go take it out, I didn't know, it looked pretty.
Yeah.
But you can't do that there, I'm not sure why.
Well,
I guess the dye must run
it's
down into
it's
something.
acidic and it does other things.
No, and that's fine,
You
and
couldn't
we
get any
didn't
more
know that.
acidic than Pine Grove.
Yeah, I know.
Right, but we didn't know, I mean, we had put some flowers around and the bark mulch brought out the color, we didn't know. But if you send out the rules and regulations, I don't see there's any reason, but I mean, I'll reach out to the other side as well. I'm not sure what the liability, I'd be interested in, is it because of COVID? Was there somebody there? I don't know, I
mean,
really don't know.
If
But-
they're all their own family and they're there, so
Yeah,
I mean.
but
it's
it came to us, so I just wanted you to be aware.
Okay.
It had to do with the Pine Grove and the East Street cemeteries,
So
so.
they were pretty hot, because I was on the phone for 45 minutes with her.
So,
So
Yeah.
I knew she was upset.
Mm-hmm.
I told her I'd let you know, which I did, and
That's all I have.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I could think of. Anybody else got anything?
Nope.
Okay. Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good night.